Hey everybody, this is Jeff, and I got my little son out here. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. So today we're going to talk about the goats real quick. So around Christmas time, we thought we had a goat in labor. She was not in labor. So that's kind of unfortunate because obviously we want baby goats, but we want them to come on time and when they're supposed to be here. So we're going to go over and take a quick look at the goats and talk about them for a couple minutes.
No.
So as you can see, we have two bucks here. One there who's coughing on something, and then this one over here. This is our primary buck. He's the one who's going to stay. Eventually we'll get rid of him because obviously we don't need two bucks. And then this is our only doe. You can still tell she's quite pregnant. She's very pregnant at the moment. So our plan had been to rebuild our goat herd like we had in New York. And all we're getting is her behind. That's funny. So our plan had been to rebuild our goat herd like we had in New York. Obviously we had 16, 17 goats while we were there. We're down to 3, and it's really slow going. When we were there, we bought 4 does and 1 buck. And that would be the better combination, obviously, to try to get more animals. We're going to need to buy some more does. But the does are, right now, they're really expensive. And we're looking around. So maybe we can trade a buck for a doe at some point, or maybe 1 or 2 does. We'll see. But I want to get her to have her kids first, and then we'll go from there. So I'm expecting kids pretty soon. She's starting to show signs of kids. But at the moment, all we have are the 3 goats. So I don't spend a whole lot of time talking about them or, filming them or anything because there's not a whole lot to talk about at the moment. And I need to go get them out of there because I just gave the pigs corn and I should not let the goats have a whole bunch of corn. So, moving on. Yeah, I do have an electric fence here. A little hard to see, but it's a single strand electric fence that's meant to keep the pigs out of the goats area and not the other way around, although it does act as a pretty good deterrent for the goats. They say if you want to keep a goat in, it's got to hold water, which we learned in New York. It's very true. But this single strand electric fence that I've got here normally keeps them in. I've got it off right now because I was actually out repairing it. A tree actually, the ice that came through a week or so ago, the snow, ice, really wet snow and ice, pulled down a couple of trees out here, and so one of them fell on the fence, so I had to fix that. But so normally the goats do stay out of the pigs area pretty well, but you gotta keep the fence maintained. And right now, because our pigs are getting ready to go to butcher, I'm trying to fatten them up and giving them more corn than I normally would. And so I want to keep the goats out of that for sure. So our goats like to hang out in the sunshine over here. Oh, that's not a goat. That's a dog. Hey, Lance. What you doing, Lance? You gonna come out? Come on. Good boy. So, yeah, the goats like to hang out in the sunshine down here. They like to try to get into the chicken coop right there. Obviously, we keep it latched, and the chicken food's actually in a container they can't get into. But you know how that goes. They like to, they'll get into anything they can, and they will find anything they can eat, because goats are goats. But let's go take a look at their barn for a minute. All right, so for those of you who think, that just because we're not showing the goats on TV, for those of you who think that maybe just because we're not showing the goats very much, we're not paying that much attention to them, not really the case. So I did buy a few, when we first moved in, I bought these Wyze cameras. These are actually really nice. They have motion detection and night vision and everything. They do work on Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi is weird. It doesn't get to one end of the house really well, but it gets out here. And this is, the house is way up there, and we get Wi-Fi out here. So whatever. But we do have these. The motion detection works pretty well, especially at night. And I've got it pointed down into their area. The only spot that I can't see is like right over there in that corner. But we do have the camera down here so that we can keep an eye on them. The motion detection, when it goes off, it sends a message to my phone, so I go check it. I don't check it every time, because it does, every time the goats come in here, it goes off, and so I don't worry about it too much. But I can check it, and I do check it during the day. We are out here quite a bit during the day. The kids are out here, I'm out here. Whenever I get a break from work, I usually come out and check on them. But we're out here quite a bit, checking on the goats, and especially right now because we know the mama goat is going to give birth pretty soon. Having said that, I am pretty hands-off about helping them with birth. My thinking is that goats have had babies for forever. They know how to do it. And so we try to let them do it on their own. If they're having trouble, obviously we're going to come out and help them. It's not like we're not going to help them, but we do try to be kind of hands-off. If we notice that she's in labor, or if we notice that that she needs to be separated from the males because of she's in labor, we do have these nice stalls in this barn, which I know I've shown before, but I'll go ahead and show them again. We have these two nice stalls in here that are good goat birthing stalls. This one we've already got set up. This is the one we set up. We set it up for right around Christmas time, thinking that she was pregnant. Obviously she wasn't. And as soon as we see that she's ready to give birth, we'll bring her in here again, and we'll probably keep her and the babies in here for a few days to just get started. Let them have some space from the two older goats. Not that I think that the older goats would mess with them, the babies, but just in case. So we'll keep them in here. This is all straw. I'll bring some hay in from over there, from the big roll that we got, and we'll give them access to grain and water and everything like that. So that's that. That's the update on the goats. That's pretty much the whole story on the goats. Yeah, spiders do live in here, don't they, buddy? So, yeah. So that's the story on the goats. Right now, we're just kind of waiting until we have more goats. I don't know for sure that we're going to milk her this time around. We may do it next time, especially if we get a second doe. But we will give her a break, obviously, let her have some time while she's not pregnant before we let the bucks have at her again. Which is going to be a little tricky because we don't really have two separate areas for them, but we'll figure something out. And then we'll go from there. So that's it. That's the whole update for the goats. Just kind of wanted to let you know what was going on with them, since we had that video where we thought we were going to have babies and we don't have babies yet. So as soon as we have babies, I promise you we'll get you more video footage of that. And because baby goats are cute. That's all there is to it. So we'll talk to you next time.